is Sandy Parker. Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. We're going to be doing a really fun little card for a baby shower or new baby, and one of our viewers, Linda, asked if I would make one, and I said sure, I'm on board. And so this is the first one I made. I'd seen a die where I'm not sure who made the die, but I'd seen a die for a onesie, and I thought, well, how hard could that be? So I kind of freehanded it and did it myself. So I thought I'd walk you through how I did it, and then you could make your own. So I started out with a piece of paper that was 11 inches by 5.5, and I folded it at 5.5. So it ends up being a square 5.5 by 5.5 card. What I did from that point was I figured, well, the top needs to be where it opens from, so I have to have some part of that is connected so that the card can open and close. And all I'm going to do is trace this one, but I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it. What I did first was I put it on my paper exactly like I'm doing now, so you can see that the top edge is even with the top of the card, and the bottom edge is even with the bottom of the card. Then what I did was I put a lid on this, and I just traced the lid, half of it. And then, oh, I have no pencil coming out of there. There's no lid coming out. No, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Back to my what I was explaining. So I took a lid, I don't remember, I think it was a lid to spray paint, and all I did was I traced half of it onto my cardstock. Then I figured out that I would probably want to go down maybe a couple inches. I think that's what it was, 2 inches. Yeah, I went down 2 inches and I just drew a line. And I thought, well, it'll probably go in this far. So it wasn't any kind of like plan. I just decided how far in I would go. And in this case, it is, okay, I'm in the centimeter side, so clearly I'm good at centimeters. It is about 1 1/8 inches to the green. So then I made that line in. Then what I did is I just did a diagonal. You see what I'm doing? Hopefully you can, let me make sure I'm in frame. What I did at this point is I just did a diagonal from that point to the bottom of my page. Follow? Did the same thing on the other side. I just drew a diagonal. I'm going to have to get that out of the way because my little flower's in the way. Just drew a diagonal from there down to the bottom of the page. Okay, here's how I did the next part. I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted those little openings, so what I did was I got a piece of paper, and this is after I've messed with it, but what I did was I took a piece of paper and I folded it in half because I knew I was going to have them be exactly the same. So by folding it in half, I was creating a duplication of the other. And all I did again was I just drew a little line. Then I laid it down on my cardstock like this, and then I just traced those. So that is the sum total of how I did it. Now if you think you need a die for that, I mean, by all means get a die, but I personally didn't think that was too hard to do, and I would certainly recommend you at least try it this way first. So if you have any questions about it, please let me know, because I'm more than happy to re-explain. And I always put everything in the comments anyway, so I will put all the dimensions that I can do. Then all you're going to do is you're going to cut both layers of cardstock. You're going to want to hold very tightly to it because you don't want your papers to shift, because you want them to make sure that you'll be able to, when this is done, you'll be able to have a card that the top and bottom layers are exactly the same. If we have any pencil marks when we're done, we can always get rid of them with a little eraser, but the other thing you can do, this is a Sandy technique, is just flip it over, and if you have any pencil marks that you're worried about, they'd be on the back. And as I said, I was really surprised at how easy it was, and I had more trouble figuring out exactly what I wanted to do as far as my decorations than I did with making the cuts and doing the card, making the decision about what the card should be cut like. And for some reason, okay, I gotta do my top, and then we're done. So this one, I decided, because it's yellow, I decided to go with a rubber ducky theme. I always like ducks on little kid things, and so that's my plan. We're going to do a little rubber ducky, and I'm going to do some brads around the top that are more boyish in colors, because we made the other one that was more girly, so we might as well do one for both boys and girls. And there we go. If you have any edges that are a little bit rough, you can either use a nail file and file it off, which is what I'm going to do right there. If you have a little piece you just don't like, just do that with it, and that'll take care of it. It just kind of cleans up any rough edges. And very quickly erase anything I don't want to see. Got a little bit there that I don't like. My other card, being white, you really couldn't see it on the white background here, so I decided that I would put that pink down just so you could see it better. This one, we're going to be, so I got a little part I need to cut off there on this side. Have a little yucky piece. Not to fear, we'll just whack it off. That's that down there. Another weird piece. Now I know you guys probably can't see any of these things that I'm fixing, but I have this obsession with, if I can see it, I'm sure you can. No matter how minute it is, I have to get it off there or fix it or do whatever. Okay, the other thing that I did with the this first one is I made little ruffles around the bottom. Don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but the way I did that is I used a 2.5 inch scallop punch, and I just cut a little piece of the scallop and then colored it the same color as the rest of my project. So that's that. Now let's stamp rubber ducky. I was going to stamp it, but now I think I'm just going to use marker on it. I got all my colors out, I'm completely organized, and now they're all missing. Oh, I already did my envelope. I stamped a little rubber ducky on there, and I put a little washi tape on the bottom and on the back, so our card envelope is already finished. So we're going to do our ducky first, and I've cut out a mask for it, so in case we decide to do any other stamping on this, that our ducky is going to be protected. I thought about stamping ducks all over it. I still haven't decided if I want to do that or not, but I think that would be really cute. Okay, I already stamped myself. Nothing new there. Okay, let's do our duck. And it's from Stampin' Up, and I'll tell you the stamp set in just a second. There's our ducky. I think I should just do ducks all over it. What do you think? All in favor? Okay. Sounds like it was unanimous. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. You guys be the judge. I'll do that. You know how when you buy clothes like this for little kids, they have a lot of times where they'll put animals all over it. I thought that'd be a good idea. And then I thought I would color in a little bit of the, don't know exactly where I want to go with that one. I thought I'd color in maybe just the beak, or like I did on the envelope. I don't know. We'll think about that and decide. I am going to do some brads around the top. So, oh, got a little piece of black on, or brown on there. Darn it! Don't you hate it when that happens? I definitely do hate it when that happens. But anyways, I am going to put some brads up in the top. and going to make it so that it has kind of a neckline by doing the brads. It's kind of like I did on the little girl one. I don't know where I want to put that one. I think I'm going to put that one off. Oh, it's right on the page. Of course it's on the page. It didn't come off the page. I thought it would make it so it would come off the page, but it did not. It's a mystery. This one is definitely coming off the page. I'm going to do it on the other side, and it's definitely going to be coming off the page. Beautiful. I'm going to do a couple on shoulders. Because you know when you have clothes, the pattern always seems to go over the, over the top or around the sides, so why wouldn't this, right? Ugh, that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that off there. So we, even though I didn't stamp or put color on the words Happy New Baby, unfortunately I got a little happy in there. Darn it! So we'll have to figure out a way around that, but in the meantime we'll close up this marker and we'll work on our brads. Let me tell you the stamp set. The name of the stamp set is One Tag Fits All. That's what I'm going with. That's the name of it. One tag fits all. Okay, we'll go with that. That's our name. Let's do our beaks before we move on. Right up in the frame a little bit. At the very least, your ducky has to have an orange beak. And any of these that I don't have the brown completely filling in the space on it, all we have to do is use our marker again and just add a little bit, one more over here, and just add a little bit to go around the edge with our marker. I bought a new tool because I never can have enough tools. It's from We Are Memory Keepers, and it's a brad separator. Now I'm not exactly certain what exactly this is supposed to do on a teeny tiny brad, but this is supposed to work. This is supposed to poke the holes. So we're going to do that first. We're going to go around and figure out where we want our holes. And then I have smaller ones and littler ones, smaller ones and littler ones, because why wouldn't you have smaller and littler? I have smaller brads and bigger brads, and I thought that would work, if I did yellow and brown, and that it would make them look, I don't know, that it would just add some cohesiveness to this. And the first thing I can tell you is my little hole poker did not poke big enough holes, at least on this side. Let's see if I can make them. I didn't really want to make humongous holes. I don't like to make really big holes when I'm doing brads because I'm always afraid that my brad isn't going to be big enough to cover the hole, and then I'm going to have a huge hole showing. So I never err on the side of huge at the beginning. Hopefully those will be big enough. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to put all of our brads in, hopefully. I'm going to start with the little, I've got two different color ones. I think these are So Saffron, and the other ones I think are Early Espresso. And I'm going to try and put the first one in. Okay, keeping in mind that brads are always difficult for people like me to put in. That's why I thought this tool would be so cool if it works. Then you're supposed to, I read the directions, you're supposed to put this thing down on them, and then, well, it didn't seem to do too much. And I can see I'm going to have a problem with that one being in the way. I don't know what I have to do with that one. We'll have to think about that. Okay. Then we'll do a big brown one. I might I think I'll probably have Rich fast forward through this part so you won't have to be bored by it. Okay, I'm back. I did all of my row of my brads, and my recommendation on this is it's a great pokey tool, but the vise at the top that's supposed to make the brad open up and flatten out, not so great. I'm not sure. First of all, I'm assuming, since it's We Are Memory Keepers, I'm assuming that it's for cards and scrapbooking. So if you use that premise, then the size brads that we would be using would be the size that I'm using, or the sizes that I used, and you would have thought that it would have worked. But it was much too thick, that big piece. She's already lost it. What did I do with it? Oh, I threw it right here. This piece is just way too big to shove in the, I don't know. It's no good. My recommendation is don't buy it. So if any of you were on the fence about it and said, geez, I have a hard time getting brads open, I think what worked better for me when I was doing it was using the pokey tool to open the brad up with, rather than using the other end. So with that in mind, maybe just buy a pokey tool. Or if you have a pokey tool already, use that. A screwdriver would probably even work better than that thing did. Just saying. I decided that my ducks needed to stand out a little bit more, and this is So Saffron, and I really kind of thought it would be less brown than it is. I thought it'd be kind of more orangish than it is brown, but it's kind of brown. Not a big deal. I still think it's cute. I still think the ducks look good, and I think it does do a good job of making them stand out, which was our goal. And I found some ribbon. I thought maybe I would outline maybe the arms or the leg openings with some ribbon. I haven't decided about that yet, but I think it looks pretty cute so far. I do have another organizational thing that I thought I'd run by you and see if anybody has an interest in. I know some of you were interested in my journal of my YouTube videos. Well, I have, I guess I'll call it an inventory log. We'll call it that. It's a log of all of the inks I have and all of the I don't want that ink pad. All of the inks I have and all of the punches I have and all of my embossing folders. I can't think what else it is. Markers. It covers just about everything but stamps and dies. If you think you'd like to see that, I'd be glad to show it to you. It's not anything spectacular, but if you want to know how I keep track of what I have, that's how I do it. I just have a 3-ring binder and I keep all that in. Maybe that's just enough to explain it that way. I have a 3-ring binder and I have all of that in there. Geez, that was easy enough, wasn't it? I'm going to put it in the inside. If I put it in the outside and it's crooked, I'll be killing myself with angst. I'm going to show you something else I did on the card while I was off camera. A little crooked, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. Here's what I did while I was off camera. Those brads were really longer than normal, and so I had to cut some of them so that they didn't show. And I started to worry about if somebody opened this card, they could actually cut themselves on these brads. So I covered all of them with 2 layers of washi tape, and I did cut some of them off because they were way too long. So that's what I did. And okay, so now the decision is whether I put a little bit of ribbon on the card. I thought what I would do is do some diagonal ribbon. Here's my plan. I'm going to just go around the outer edge with some brown marker and just highlight it that way. And then I won't run the risk of really having a mess on my hands. Sometimes I just am so mad at myself for things like this. I'm just going to go along this edge. And yet, it made a big, thick line compared to the other side. This is why I should never mess with something once I'm done with a plan. It's going to be fine, Sandy. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Then we'll go this edge. So I really, I like this idea, and I liked it so much that yesterday I went to Joann's, and because you know it's the only store I have within 50 miles for crafting. Anyway, I went to Joann's and I bought some material, some sheer material in corals and in I think it's lime. I don't know. It's a light green color, but my niece is getting married, and those are the colors of her shower. I'm not sure that those are the colors of her bridesmaids dresses or her, you know, anything else related to the wedding. But I do know that it is the color for her shower. So I figured that at least for her shower card, it would be a cool idea. And what I decided was I was going to make dresses, a dress as her shower card. So that's, since I made this, I figured, well, you know, I've mastered this. You know what that means. I haven't really accomplished anything. But in my head, I convinced myself that I'd mastered this technique, and so, geez, now all I have to do is make brides' dresses. That should be no problem at all. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to make a bridal card, or a bridal shower card for her that's going to be with that idea of a bride's dress, or bridesmaids' dresses. So Linda, I really hope you like this. I made it for you. I made this for you. I hope you like it, and I hope all of you will try something like this, and please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to try making for you. I'm certainly up for the challenge. I had another request for a geez, I completely forgot. For a journal that's bound with the binding tool, because I do have a binding tool that I've never used, and we're working out the details of exactly what she'd like to see, but one of our viewers would like to see that, and I'm on board. And also, Elizabeth, I did not forget that you would like a card with geez, I forgot the name of it, snow globe. And I've been waiting until I bought something, and I finally bought it. And my idea of a snow globe, so this is my idea of a snow globe. I know most people's idea of a snow globe is something related to winter, but mine is all about traveling and about cities I love. And I have a Boston and a New York City snow globe. And you can see it from that angle, hopefully. But anyway, I've been waiting until I found a stencil that was of city skyline, and I found one. So Elizabeth, I'm going to be making that snow globe card that you wanted, but it's not going to be a traditional snow globe card. So I hope you guys do like these videos, and tell your friends. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.